Now, in most cases, what's going to happen to you when you lose money or you can't find a tenant is that you're going to become emotional. And $2,000 to $3,000 a month is already a car payment, your food, your savings for your vacation, and in some cases, even your house. To be good at investing, whether stocks, properties, or whatever, you need to be calm and objective. Yeah, and in the case of trading, there's this phrase, right, called revenge trading. When they lose a bunch of money and say, no, I gotta make it back. Hey guys, we're Viral. Welcome back to our channel, the best place for stock investors. Hope you like the new place, pre-plane.
Yeah.
MJ here.
John here.
Now in this video, you're gonna learn step by step what you need to do to start investing in your 20s. And you want to stay until the end because the steps get even juicier.
Yep. So if you love the content that we're producing, remember to give this video a like. And if you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right at the corner there so that you know a new video is up for you.
The first step is that in your 20s, you want to make sure that you're investing in money that you do not need right away.
That's right.
Now, John and I hear this all the time from people in their 20s, right? They want this thing called passive income from stocks. And they want to be a trader, earning like 10 to 15%, what we call trade for income. Or maybe they like rental properties, rental income. That's what they really want. What ends up happening is that a lot of young people in their 20s will take money that they do need and then put it in a stock brokerage account and then hope that that can generate them passive income or just monthly income.
They just want to maximize whatever they have, you see.
And in the same way, they will maybe buy a property that sometimes they can't even afford in hopes that the rental income, few $100 a month, will be able to supply their lifestyle. Now here's a question that you really need to ask yourself. What if you lost money trading that month?
And you need to pay your credit card bills.
Or if you can't find a tenant to rent out your properties, what then? Now in most cases, what's going to happen to you when you lose money or you can't find a tenant is that you're going to become emotional, because at the end of the day, you do need this money, right? You need it for food and cars. And it's no surprise, and it's very common that people lose 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit or dollars a month just because they did not plan their finances properly. They invested with money that they didn't have. And $2,000 to $3,000 a month is already a car payment, your food, your savings for your vacation, and in some cases, even your house. To be good at investing, whether stocks, properties, or whatever, you need to be calm and objective.
Yeah.
Now, ask yourself a question. If you are investing with money that you need to survive, and when you lose money, do you think that you can become calm? Do you think that when you lose money that you can remain what we call objective so that you can make sound and smart decisions?
The loss aversion will naturally kick in because you would want to make back whatever you did not make that month. And because of that, then you become more emotional and less objective.
Yeah, and in the case of trading, there's this phrase, right, called revenge trading. When they lose a bunch of money and say, no, I gotta make it back, right? So that's very dangerous. So the question is how? How do you go about doing this? How do you invest with money that you don't need? My personal rule is always to have 3 to 6 months of savings in your bank account so that whenever anything happens in your life that you need to pay for expenses, you can tap into that fund which is not being invested. While your other investment portfolio does not need to be touched at all. You don't need to use it for expenses. So that's one very important thing. And of course, what this does to you eventually is to give you a lot of peace of mind. And when you have a peace of mind, when you're calm, that's when you can be way more rational and objective when it comes to stock investing. Now, the truth is, people always see investing as a pill, a magic pill. But the thing is, if you're good at managing money, then investing is going to be great for you. But if you're bad at managing money, then it's going to magnify the bad things in your life, guaranteed. By the way, in the comment section or in the description, we have a link for you to download a totally free ebook or guidebook where we share with you some of the secrets as to how you can achieve your first six-figure stock portfolio before the age of 30.
That's right. The next but very pertinent step in starting to invest in your 20s is to get clarity or to set an end goal of the things you're going to achieve financially. Retirement, your wedding, buying a car even. Those end goals has to be clear.
Children.
Yeah. While you may not have absolute clarity on the amount now, you should get a budgetary estimate of what are the goals you plan to achieve. Like for example, retirement. You know what are your expenses, right? You know what your lifestyle is going to be like, right? So you put in an amount and it's not cast in stone, you know. You can refine as you go along. But most importantly, you need to set a goal. Can you imagine playing football without the goalposts? How will the game actually look like? I think it's pretty hilarious.
It'll just be a game of passing around,
yeah,
passing ball.
And the same in financial. Everybody is, I think they're very scared of committing because the amount looks big. But I think until you put a goal, clarity becomes better.
Yeah, and also without like a budget, you don't know where your money is going. You're not putting a name to your money.
Yeah. Imagine having a tap you turn on and there's a pail, but there's a lot of holes in them.
Yeah.
That's exactly how, without a budget, without setting financial goals, that is exactly where you're going to end up with. Once you've set these goals in place, the next step is actually committing a certain amount of money. And when you do your budget, it becomes very clear. 200 ringgit a month or 500 ringgit a month, it doesn't matter. As long as you start, as long as you're consistent and you increase it as you go along, that's going to bring you very, very far ahead in life. Just to give you guys a perspective in terms of numbers, if you have zero starting capital, that means you start with zero initial capital, but you put in 500 a month consistently and you compound it at 8%. I'm not talking about 10 or even 15, just 8%.
Which is the typical stock market return, right?
Correct. You will be getting 300,000 after 20 years. Now, imagine if you put in double that amount. Instead of 500, you put in 1,000 a month. Same compounding rate of return, 8%. After 20 years, you're going to get 600,000. You're close to being a millionaire, you know. And you know, a lot of people say that I will only start when I have money. Yeah. This is 500 ringgit a month. And we're not even talking about 10 or 15% returns, where in the next step, we'll tell you the skills required.
Yeah, and before that, just imagine, right, this is zero start capital. In other words, right, you don't have any sugar daddy or sugar mommy, or you don't have parents to give you a startup capital, right? Just start from zero and you still become almost a millionaire after 20 years.
Now, more importantly is when you already have committed this amount, a lot of people say that, oh, I don't have the skills right now, I'll wait, I get more confidence, I make paper trades until I make those mistakes on paper trading, only then I invest. We don't believe in that kind of concept because the emotional attachment when you paper trade and you really invest your own money is very different. And what you're trying to lead towards to is you train it that muscle and that skill, you know. We believe in making mistakes along the journey, invest in parallel and build your skills rather than trying to get all the concepts right before you're actually starting. I'll give you an analogy to exemplify what I just said. Now imagine watching a YouTube channel and trying to learn how to swim, but you never go into the pool. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know whether you're gonna have phobia when the water touches your face. And you just do that for the next 15 years and you're never gonna know whether you are ready or not. But if you dip your toes, try a little bit, water is cold. If I swim in the afternoon, then it's not so bad, it's warmer, then I don't get so scared. That's exactly what I mean. So at 8% earlier, remember the 500 ringgit example, 500 at 8%, you're gonna get 300,000 after 20 years. But if you improve your skill, make mistakes along the way, improve your skills, bring that compounding skill to 15%, you're going to get 700,000 with the same amount and the same duration. 500, 20 years.
Now the next step is determining a realistic time frame. So I'm going to go straight to the point, guys. Trying to make a lot of money in a short span of time is just either impossible or improbable. That's right. You have to be ultra lucky to get it. Now, I hear all the time that people want to make in the stock market, let's say 10% a month, as
Wow.
if that's a very small amount. It's only 10%, right? It's not like it's 100%, it's just 10%. Guys, 10% a year might be more realistic. 10% a month is what we call a Ponzi scheme.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that it's the consistency and sustainability. A lot of people just think of, just short time frames, short spurts. I think that's the mistake that we want to try to point out.
And let me explain further. Right? Here's something you need to understand. The shorter your investing time frame, the more money you lose, especially in the stock market. Now, have you ever heard of the 90-90-90 rule? It basically says that 90% of investors or traders lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days of them investing or trading. Now the question is, why? The big reason is that it is actually harder to predict short-term prices for stocks or properties, let's say, than their long-term prices. So take for example, right, if you bought a house, you're not going to know in the next 2 weeks what the price of that house will be. It probably won't change a lot. But you can know if it's in a decent location, it's going to be worth more than today in about 5 to 10 years' time.
That's right.
Now in comparison, stocks is also the same. Do I know where, let's say, time.com is going to be in the next month? I don't know. It's probably going to be, actually I don't even know, it might be lower, might be higher, who knows. But I know that if Timecom stays profitable and if they have what we call a moat, then they have what we call a long runway. In other words, it is reasonable to accept if Timecom is doing well, that they will have a better and a higher share price in 5 to 10 years. How much higher? Obviously, I don't know. But I can predict with some certainty that it will be higher. And that's one of the big difference.
Actually, if I were to use a short story on coin flipping, if you're going to flip a coin 10 times, how likely are you going to get the probability is 5 times heads and 5 times tail? But the longer and the more that you flip, right, over the long run, the probability is going to get it 50-50 is much higher.
1,000, 2,000 times.
That's right.
You probably get that amount.
That's right.
Here's another thing, guys. Why stress yourself with short-term trading, right? You have to look at the screen all the time. You have to check the news, what's happening in politics, what's happening around the world. There's so many information and it's going to get you very stressful, especially if you have a day job, right? It's not going to be easy. Plus, guys, how many billionaires who became billionaires because they were investors are short-term traders? Not many.
Not many.
Please let me know if you think I'm wrong in the comments. I don't think, based on my observation, that investors that become billionaire are short-term guys. Most of them are long-term guys. And look, Warren Buffett, probably the greatest investor of all time, is the #1 long-term investor in history.
That's right. So the next pertinent step is actually to determine what is an asset class that is suitable for you, your temperament, your individualism. You can start doing that by reading about different or various asset classes and getting to know how they behave in the market. Meaning, are they very volatile? Do you need huge startup capital? Is it very easy to liquidate or to exit? Find out about all this and go talk to a lot of people about their investing experience on each of these asset classes, because they have their quirks. And you can then relate to say, oh, okay, that's something I can deal with, or there's something that I don't really envy to do.
Yeah, it's a bit like vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate ice cream.
Yeah. That's why in ice cream they have those small taster spoons, right? Just go give it a taste. Examples of various asset classes include properties, Malaysian favorite one, right? Commodities like gold, silver, and things like stocks, unit trusts, REITs. Find out about them. And more importantly, you want to know whether these kind of asset classes can give you a consistent, the keyword is consistent rate of return. After understanding these asset classes, try to understand or try to put into logic why these asset classes will increase over time. For example, property. Booming population, urbanization, people in KL. KL is the capital of Malaysia, for those of you who are outside of Malaysia listening to this video. A lot of people will want to migrate into these city centers, and because of scarcity of land, the demand will actually always outstrip the supply, and because of that, property prices actually increase. Similarly to stocks, if you want to understand how these stock prices actually increase over time, understand the business. Why would this business do better over 10, 20 years? Will there be a demand for the product or services? Understanding this is key to giving yourself the patience to invest over the long term.
And the confidence as well.
That's right. So the next step is to learn the skills and strategy, how to be good at investing in the asset class of your choice. For example, if you want to invest into properties, what are the things you need to do with? You need to deal with tenant management, you need to deal with real estate agents, you need to deal with lawyers, bankers. Those kind of skill sets are required for you to elevate yourself to get a better rate of return. In stocks, what do you need to do? Understanding business, learn how to read financial statements, and learn how to understand industry value chains, which is very important for you to be a better investor in the stock market. So, how do you know which asset class is suitable for you? If you like crunching numbers, don't like to deal with people, a more introverted person, then more likely stocks is suitable for you because you don't deal with a lot of people, you just click the mouse. Whereas if you want to be more outgoing, you're a more outgoing person, extroverted, you need to deal with a lot of people, you love dealing with them, maybe properties is for you because you may even build a relationship and get deals that are not even on the market. Thereafter, you need to understand the risk-reward ratio. A lot of people avoid taking risks not because they don't understand it, but they don't understand it enough. And I think the biggest risk that all of us cannot avoid is actually inflation. Don't procrastinate because inflation is slowly eating it away without you even realizing it.
It is essentially an invisible tax.
That's right.
You don't need to file for any taxes for this one, but you will still take money out of your pocket. Now, we talk a lot about stocks and properties mainly, right? Because that's like the main choices that most of us have when it comes to investing. I'm going to now give you three reasons why I think and we think that stocks are the best for you in your 20s, especially when you don't have a lot of money. Now, to me, the best reason why you should invest in stocks in your 20s is because of its low startup capital. Now, when it comes to investing, the thing is, and the truth is, you need money to make money. So the question is, how much? Now, if you compare it to, let's say, properties or businesses, which is a popular alternative to stocks, you will know, if you watch this video, that properties require a lot of upfront capital, right? Things like your down payment, your legal fees, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's going to be pretty hefty.
That's right.
And in Malaysia's case, right, if you buy a 300,000 or 300k house, that's already a 55k upfront commitment.
Yeah.
Not to mention the 1.5k a month that you need to pay to the bank and etc., just to maintain the property. Now, if you compare it to, let's say, a business, that depends on what business you start, but most business requires you to put in quite a bit of capital. Like, let's say, a restaurant. It's not uncommon to hear a few 100,000 being the upfront capital. And of course, the more advanced the cooking is required, the more you have to pay.
Kitchen equipment don't come cheap.
That's right. But of course, and in big contrast with stocks, you only need 10 bucks to open an account and you can start with 1,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
No problem. And as the example John gave earlier, right? 500 ringgit a month, 1,000 ringgit a month. You can add over time. You don't need to say, hey, no broker is going to say, no, you need to start with 50,000.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you cannot start. No such thing. Now, the next reason, which is linked to the first, is that because the startup capital is so low, you can afford more mistakes. Right? With stocks, you can keep making mistakes, and as you make the mistakes, you actually get better. But you ask yourself this question, how many mistakes can you make with a property or a business? And lastly, as per the report made by Credit Suisse in 2018, over a span of 118 years, stocks outdo most of their competitors. For example, gold, housing, silver, whatever, right? So stocks is number one over a 100-year period.
Yeah. So if you follow these steps, you are definitely on your way to becoming a better investor. Regardless of asset classes, these are timeless principles or methods that you can apply to any investing. So if you enjoyed the video, remember to watch the other videos that we have on our channel. We're building a repository slowly but surely. Do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram so that you know any new content or material is available for you.